Yes, for people as the hurt, it don't happen. No, I so much love Rufai of Arise TV. Make una see the powerful message. Make Rufai send give Inec. Please, my family, just do me a favor. Just hit the like button. Share my Facebook for recommend this video. Give other people when they see this powerful message from Rufai of Arise TV. Share this video and comment your opinion after you watch and finish. Inec must see this video. Tag Inec.
This election, like I said, makes it 100 years since Nigerians started voting. In 1923, we held the first election, then under the British. And if you look at things that dogged those elections, they're still evident 100 years after. So I submit to you this morning that the sad reality is that we have not changed pretty much in 100 years. Even when you look at the preceding elections of 1959 and also 1964, the massive irregularity that dogged those elections that led to all sorts of manipulations still hold sway. The only difference this time around is that the people are resilient. And in everything that has happened, on everything that would emerge from this election, I'll say the true heroes of this election are you, the Nigerian people, you watching me this morning that went out with your PVC to vote. In fact, I'd like to tell you to pat yourself on the back or clap for yourself. Because despite the tyranny, despite the suppression, despite the frustration, deliberately, you stood tall and you ensured your vote was counted. You stayed overnight at the polling unit and used your phones to become lights for the electoral officer to count the votes. A lot of you went there hungry 6 a.m. in the morning and you hardly ate anything until after the vote was counted. You stood there even when the thugs that failed to realize that they are a reflection of a failed state. The thugs that failed to realize that their own lives could be better if their politicians truly cared for them came to attack you that was trying to liberate them from their own suffering. But you stood tall despite the fact that the police officials couldn't fight them back in some cases or fought them back in some cases, and you ensured that your vote counted. Some of you were so bold that despite the fact that your blood was dripping, your sweat was dripping, you voted. Jennifer has been mentioned. Those are the heroes. Despite the fact that her eyes were patched after the brutality of thugs, she looked carefully at the party she wanted to vote and ensured she voted. Jennifer's spirit just shows all of us that we have that can-do spirit. And the people can truly take their country in their hands if they want. So in all of this, you, the people, were the true heroes. Anything that happens in this election is your resolve. Is you speaking loud and clear that you will not take the things you used to take anymore. And because of your resolve in this election, I can boldly say that the Nigerian people, come what may, that the next 100 years is assured if we're to take a panoramic view. Because I know it's a long walk to freedom and getting elections right in this country. And since you have done this, you will not relent in the next election cycle. But amidst all of this, we still had lack of capacity that was shown by Inec. Inec flip-flopped so many times. And I don't want to predict anything, but I think these elections will be highly litigated. And it's only a matter of time. Inec, after realizing that one of his officials had flip-flopped initially in an interview, when the official said that we didn't promise that we're going to put presidential election results on IREV, now came back to issue 2 statements, saying it was a technical glitch. Who do we believe? But a key person in Inec said they didn't promise they were going to put presidential elections on IREV. And I wonder, if only we can play their videos back for them. What did they say initially? They said the joker in this election was going to be the fact that from polling units, they were going to post them onto the IREV. They bragged about it. I asked here on Friday, hope they are not going to complain no data. But like I said, it came to pass. I sadly want to be right on issues that denigrate my country. But like I said, all the concerns I raised about Inec here on Friday, all of them came to pass. All of them. It was still a case of they couldn't upload results. Some said password, some said technical glitch. It was still a case of the fact that the channels on the iRev were not properly working. I talked about the tech. I saw the interface. I said it. That interface was suspect. But it came to be. It came to be, which is a sad reality. I also said it here on Friday, that hope will not have the situation like Amuwo or Dauphin in 2019, where ballot papers were burnt, that led to the disenfranchisement of those people and votes were not counted. But it happened again. You saw how ballot papers were burnt and people had to scamper for their lives. But this time around it was different, because in all fairness, the police and the army responded to some, but some they couldn't respond to. And a police spokesperson was trying to justify incompetence by saying that what will police officers do when you have a mob of area boys and you have 2 police officers? Really? As though we are the ones that wear police officers' uniforms now. Never ascribe to incompetence, never ascribe to malice what you can explain with incompetence. I think the police PRO should be properly tutored on how to speak, really. Just like the police PRO, just like the police commissioner in Kano that saw a child voting. And the next thing, when he was asked, he said, oh, you can't ascertain the physical features of a child. Very funny. So as we are now, we don't know who children are in society. I'm sure they will probably say they are unknown voters at a point. So these are the things we've always complained about, and they all happen. And it's not a good sign for INEC. We will wait for the results to continually trickle in, but this is not a good sign for INEC. Elections were disrupted. Kogi was even a funny case. Disrupted in Kogi Central. At first, the governor started by digging the Red Sea, so that he said he was fighting robbers, armed robbers or terrorists. But why it was 2 days to election, you remember to fight terrorists by digging the road into two, so that campaign materials will not get to the opposition person in the state, Natasha Akpoti. Is that the case now? Politicians will do their shenanigans, but you see, the people have spoken loud and clear. And that's the wave you are seeing across the country with Labour. Nobody will have expected what happened or what is happening currently in Lagos, with 2 local governments to spare. Labour is in comfortable position. It is the state of the city boy. But Lagosians are really showing that they own the city. Lagosians have shown that they own the city truly. What is the state of the city boy? Akwa Ibom, Delta and some other parts, massive voter suppression here and there, but the people are speaking tall. In closing, there is still a lot of voter apathy, because it could have been better. By the numbers I'm seeing, it's looking at, I think, less than 20% of Lagosians voted, which is sad, just like about the last figures from 2019 elections. Because if there are 2 local governments to spare, and both candidates have had little less than 1 million votes, in a state that normally will have about 6 million registered voters, then there's still massive voter apathy. But we'll wait for the results. The truth will triumph. It will be a long walk to freedom for Nigeria. But most importantly, you, the Nigerian people, if we are to pick heroes from the elections, you are the heroes of these elections. Come what may, clap for yourself.
And of course, we are hoping that IREP portal will begin to function, because at least all the 3 major political parties have complained, and other commentators, including civil society stakeholders, have raised the alarm. Now, the collation of results at the state level began yesterday and is ongoing. We're told that at the national level, it will resume at 11 a.m. Today. At the state levels, well, it's ongoing in some states. It's been suspended to continue later in the morning in some states of the Federation. And that is already giving us, part of the patterns that are now being reported in parts of the country. The INEC chairman held about 2 media briefings yesterday. First, he declared open the collation center at the International Conference Center in Abuja, where he said that the process will be open and transparent, and he provided the guidelines for the collation of the results at the national level. The truth of the matter is that Nigerians are expectant. No election has been this emotional because of the issues at stake, because the stakes are much higher. However, not much has changed in terms of patterns, trends in electioneering in Nigeria. Violence is one major issue. Violence has been reported in parts of the country. In Idonre, a man was killed at the collation center. In parts of Lagos, there was violence. In Surulere, a particular lady, Jennifer Efidibana, was attacked. She was wounded in the face. Her face was bandaged. Then she went back, she got treated, she still came back and voted. In other parts of the country, there have been reports of killings. In Katsina, in Niger, ballot box snatching, in Kano. In fact, in Kano, the Inec office in one of the local governments was burnt down yesterday morning. So you have the specter of violence in different parts of the country, protests in different parts of the country, indicating the dissatisfaction of the people. The EFCC arrested people who were trying to buy votes in Rivers and also in the Federal Capital Territory. There was also report of voter suppression in many parts of the country, with persons going to voting centers to warn people that this particular area belongs to a particular party, and if you go and do something different, you will be attacked openly. In Kano, there was also the report of underage voting. Underage voting to the extent that when the police commissioner was interviewed on television, his only response was that, well, he had no explanation for it. After all, the young man had a voter's card, duly issued to him by Inec, and that you can't determine a man's age by just looking at his face or physical appearance. That is the kind of side comedy that we have seen in this election in terms of the trends that have been reported. And then, of course, on top of all of this, you then find the political parties engaging in vitriol as usual, engaging in hate speech. What is the big takeaway so far, as of this moment, will seem to be the fact that the Nigerian people are determined. They are resilient. Their resilience is the only thing that we can hold on to. Some people went to polling centers and slept overnight. Voting was supposed to open at 8:30 a.m., but some people went there as early as 12 midnight to go and sleep. In fact, some people went to some polling centers with their mattresses. In Etiosa, at one particular polling center, some people went there and organized barbecue. They went there with jollof rice and pepper soup. They were determined. And as they were waiting on the queue, they were serving food. They saw the thing as a special occasion, and they were determined to wait. In places where voting materials did not arrive early and voting started late, some people said they will wait till 12 midnight on the day of election to be allowed to vote. But in many of those places, INEC officials had to close voting, and many people feel that they've been tactically, constructively disenfranchised, and that is one major issue in this election. We saw serious violation of the electoral law, the Electoral Act 2022. The most embarrassing being the violation of the Electoral Act by key government officials, including the president himself. Section 50 of the Electoral Act 2022 talks about open secret balloting. Section 122 of the Electoral Act 2022 says that you are expected to vote in secret. But we saw the president brandishing his ballot paper and posing for photographs with it. The same also with the Attorney General of the Federation of and Minister of Justice. The same also with Senator Oji Uzokalu. The same also with some of the governors who wanted people to know how they voted. And Governor Tom told all of us that he voted for Labour Party, and he posed for photograph for it. I don't know whether he will frame that picture and put in his living room after he stops being governor. But that in itself is a violation of the law. Section 122 subsection 4 of the Electoral Act prescribes a punishment of a fine of 100,000 naira or 3 months imprisonment or both. But of course, Governor Tom has immunity. President Muhammadu Buhari also has immunity. But going forward, our leaders need to show good example From the results that we have seen, I said, incumbency is a factor, identity is a factor, and you'll find many of the governors trying to hold on to their domains. In Ekiti State, which was cited, the governor there is an APC governor. And what you have seen is that, out of loyalty, out of determination, out of self-justification, he managed to give, the APC presidential candidate a majority, and the APC also won most of the senatorial seats. In fact, the 3 senatorial seats are up for grabs. Now, in Osun, you have a similar comparison, where the governor of the state was able to deliver a majority for Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. And on account of this, the caretaker chairman of the party in that state has been boasting that this is a confirmation that Governor Adeleke, indeed won the July 2022 election, contrary to the ruling of the tribunal in the matter. But we have also seen major offset.